In 1965, the world's first fully enclosed sports facility, the Houston Astrodome, was open to the public. The Astrodome itself was a marvel of engineering, but because it was enclosed, the grass that was initially planted inside soon died. It was replaced with artificial grass, which was basically a synthetic carpet that looked like grass but played and behaved totally differently. Today, the next generations of that artificial grass can be found in stadiums all over the world. Learn more about artificial turf, how it was created, and how it improved over time on this episode of Everything Everywhere Daily. This episode is sponsored by Mint Mobile. I don't know about you, but I like to know where my money is going. The problem is that big mobile companies like money too. After years of paying a ton for wireless services, I finally got fed up with crazy high wireless bills, bogus fees, and free perks that actually cost more money in the long run, and just switched to Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at just $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Nothing has to change. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for just $15 a month. If you like your money, Mint Mobile is for you. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/EED. That's mintmobile.com/EED. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, 5 gigabyte plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. This episode is sponsored by the Up First podcast. Breaking news is broken. You're constantly doom scrolling on Facebook, Twitter, or TikTok to get the latest updates so you don't miss anything. If this sounds like you, I recommend that you listen to the Up First podcast by NPR. NPR's Up First provides the top 3 news stories to start your day. With digestible 10 to 15-minute episodes, it's all the news you need so you can get back to your life feeling informed while preserving your sanity, letting you get ready, make breakfast, or go to work. From politics to economics and both national and international news, Up First is the go-to daily habit for the news consumer who wants to stay informed but is forever strapped for time. With Up First, you can start your day a little more in the know than you were when you went to sleep. Up First is the cure you need for your news fatigue. It lets you stay informed of the top stories while allowing you to spend the rest of your day on things more productive or more enjoyable. Listen now to the Up First podcast from NPR. You've probably heard the adage that necessity is the mother of invention, and this is definitely true with the development of artificial turf. It was a case of the need for the product coinciding with the development of the product, which resulted in an explosion in the adoption of the product. There are several threads in this story of the creation and adoption of artificial turf, and the first of these starts in the state of Texas. In the late 1950s, the city of Houston was awarded a Major League Baseball franchise, the Houston Colt 45s, which was later renamed the Houston Astros. The problem was that Houston's hot, humid climate and frequent rainstorms made outdoor baseball uncomfortable for players and fans. Judge Roy Hoffhines, a former Houston mayor and visionary businessman, spearheaded the project, imagining a futuristic indoor stadium where weather conditions wouldn't interfere with gameplay. Construction began in 1962, and by the time it opened in 1965, the Astrodome was a marvel of engineering. The stadium featured a massive dome spanning 642 feet or 195 meters in diameter, supported by a steel framework. When the Astrodome opened, the original plan was to use natural grass on the playing field. To allow sunlight to reach the grass inside the dome stadium, the roof was designed with clear acrylic panels on the top. However, players quickly complained about glare from the sun reflecting off the panels, making it difficult to track fly balls. To solve this issue, officials painted a large portion of the panels white, significantly reducing the glare, but also blocking natural sunlight from reaching the field. As a result, the original grass, which was Tifway 419 Bermuda grass, began to wither and die due to the lack of sunlight. Groundskeepers attempted various solutions, including installing grow lights, but none were successful in keeping the grass healthy. With a deteriorating field and no viable alternative for maintaining real grass, the Astros had to look for a synthetic replacement. The next thread to this story begins in the 1950s as well, with a company named Chemstrand. The Chemstrand Corporation, which was a subsidiary of the Monsanto Corporation, began developing synthetic fibers for various applications, including surfaces that could mimic grass. This eventually developed into a product released in 1965 known as Chemgrass. Chemgrass consisted of short synthetic fibers made from nylon, woven into a backing material. This first-generation product was essentially a carpet with no infill, resulting in a very firm surface that bore little resemblance to natural grass beyond its green color. It was first installed as a test in 1964 at the Moses Brown School in Providence, Rhode Island. The introduction of Chemgrass coincided almost perfectly with Houston looking for an artificial grass alternative. It was installed for the 1966 season, but the problem was there wasn't very much of it at the start of the season, so they only installed it in the infield and foul territory. The outfield was just painted dirt until the mid-season when they finally had enough for the whole field. Given its association with the Astrodome, the product was rebranded as AstroTurf, a name that became synonymous with artificial turf. Despite the fact that it was installed at the Astrodome because it was an indoor facility, it soon began being installed in outdoor stadiums. Artificial turf rapidly gained popularity throughout the 1970s, particularly in North American professional sports. By 1974, over half of all NFL teams were playing on artificial surfaces. Major League Baseball saw a widespread adoption, with many new multi-purpose stadiums installing synthetic turf. At the 1976 Summer Olympics in Montreal, they featured artificial turf in several venues, and it started gaining attention in international soccer. So, why exactly would teams playing in outdoor stadiums want to install artificial turf when they can easily grow natural grass? Artificial turf offers several advantages, including low maintenance, durability, and cost-effectiveness over time. Unlike natural grass, it doesn't require mowing, watering, or fertilization, making it ideal for areas with heavy foot traffic, such as sports fields and public spaces. It also remains green year-round and can be used in various weather conditions without becoming muddy or patchy. Natural turf also has a habit of being torn up, especially in American football, when extreme forces from 300-pound players running with cleats would tear up huge divots. However, AstroTurf also has some huge drawbacks. High initial installation costs can be a barrier, and while it lasts for many years, it eventually is going to need replacing. Another major issue is heat retention, as artificial turf absorbs sunlight and can become significantly hotter than natural grass, making it uncomfortable for both players and spectators. However, the biggest drawback was injuries. Turf toe is a sprain of the ligament surrounding the big toe joint, commonly occurring when the toe is forcefully bent upward. It often happens on artificial turf surfaces, where the harder, less forgiving ground increases the likelihood of excessive toe bending, especially for athletes making quick cuts or sudden stops. While mild cases can be treated with rest, ice, compression, and elevation, more severe cases may require immobilization, physical therapy, or even surgery in extreme instances. The drawbacks eventually led to the development of the next generation of artificial turf. Second-generation artificial turf, introduced in the 1970s and 1980s, marked a significant improvement over its predecessor. This iteration featured longer and softer fibers, typically made from polypropylene, which provided a more comfortable playing surface. The key innovation was the introduction of sand infill, which helped to stabilize the fibers and improve the overall durability of the turf. This generation of artificial turf was designed to better withstand high-traffic areas and offered improved shock absorption, reducing the risk of injuries compared to the first generation of artificial turf. The longer fibers and sand infill also allowed for better ball roll and bounce, making it more suitable for a wider range of sports. Despite these advancements, second-generation turf still faced criticism for its heat retention and abrasiveness. Third-generation artificial turf, which was introduced in the 1990s, represented a significant leap forward in synthetic playing surface technology. This iteration featured even longer fibers, typically measuring between 40 and 65 millimeters in length, which closely mimicked the appearance and feel of natural grass. A key innovation was the use of a mixed infill system, combining sand with rubber granules derived from recycled tires. This infill mixture provided superior shock absorption, enhanced player comfort, and improved overall field performance. The longer fibers allowed for better water drainage, reducing the risk of flooding and improving playability in wet conditions. Additionally, third-generation turf incorporated more advanced backing materials and improved manufacturing techniques, resulted in increased durability and longevity. These enhancements made third-generation artificial turf suitable for a wider range of sports, including soccer and rugby, and significantly reducing the risk of injuries compared to earlier generations. Despite the advances in artificial turf, many athletes still didn't like it. Running on sand and recycled tires just wasn't the same thing as running on natural grass and soil. So what then is the state of the art in artificial turf today? I should preface this by saying that there are many companies out there that sell artificial turf systems at various price points for all levels of athletics, from ultra-high-end systems for the NFL or top European football leagues down to high school fields. Many of these are completely artificial systems that closely, but not perfectly, replicate the feel of natural grass. However, today's most advanced turf systems are not artificial, but rather a hybrid of natural grass and artificial turf. So I want to close the episode by describing how these hybrid systems work and how they integrate the best features of natural grass and turf. And as you'll see, it is a far cry from the nylon carpet that was introduced in Houston in 1966. To give you an idea of just why these types of fields are the state of the art now, take a look at some of the teams that use hybrid turf fields. Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, AFC Ajax, the Philadelphia Eagles, and of course, the Green Bay Packers. It's also been used in multiple national stadiums around the world, and it's been used in several World Cups. There are several different hybrid systems that are on the market today, including most notably the Grassmaster system by Desso Sports from the Netherlands and the SIS Grass system from Eurosports Turf in Germany. These hybrid turf systems reinforce natural grass with synthetic fibers to enhance durability, stability, and playing conditions. The system involves stitching artificial fibers into the natural grass surface, creating a stronger, more resilient playing field that maintains the natural feel of grass while improving wear resistance. To install a hybrid system, a specialized machine injects over 20 million polypropylene fibers vertically into the soil at a depth of around 7 inches and spaced about 3/4 of an inch apart. The natural grass is then grown around and intertwined with these synthetic fibers, forming a reinforced root system. Artificial fibers only make up about 5% of these surfaces, ensuring that natural grass remains the primary playing surface. But they provide additional support by anchoring the grass roots, preventing excess turf damage, and reducing the formation of bare patches. One of the key advantages of a hybrid system is that it improves field stability and drainage, making it ideal for stadiums with high foot traffic and varying weather conditions. The synthetic fibers also help distribute player weight more evenly, reducing divots and wear patterns, especially in areas of high activity such as the center of the field and goal areas. Additionally, the system enhances grass recovery time, meaning that the field stays in better condition for longer periods, even with frequent use. Because hybrid systems rely on natural grass, regular maintenance such as watering, mowing, aeration, and fertilization is still required. However, the reinforcement provided by the synthetic fibers also allows the field to withstand intense play in adverse weather conditions far better than traditional grass surfaces. There's more to the field than just the grass and the artificial strands that hold everything together. Most of these systems, especially if they're outdoors, will be built on a large layer of sand for drainage. An American football field, which is similar in size to a regulation soccer pitch, will have over 42,000 gallons or 159,000 liters of water fall on it with just 1 inch of rain. Some systems, like the Grassmaster system, can support drainage of up to 10 inches of rainfall in a single hour. And 10 inches in an hour would be approaching the world's record for rainfall. In cold weather climates like Lambeau Field, freezing is a huge potential problem. During the Ice Bowl, the famous 1967 championship game that took place in Green Bay, temperatures dropped to negative 15 Fahrenheit or negative 26 Celsius at game time. The nickname Frozen Tundra was coined during this game, and the reason why the field was frozen was because the electrical heating system buried beneath the field wasn't working that day. Today, they have a very elaborate system of steam pipes that keep the field warm to avoid freezing. Because they may have games well into January, they have artificial grow lights that they put over the field in the winter months so the grass stays healthy. They'll also put a tarp over the field and blow hot air underneath just to keep it warm. One of the newest technologies that's being installed on fields is below-ground sensors. When distributed across a field, they can provide temperature and moisture information across an entire playing surface. Artificial turf has become common around the world, whether it's on a fully artificial field or part of a hybrid turf system. The simple grass field that we all grew up with has actually become a very high-tech, highly engineered system. So the next time you're watching a sporting match that's played on something that looks like grass, realize that it might actually be played on an extremely sophisticated replica of the real thing. The executive producer of Everything Everywhere Daily is Charles Daniel. The associate producers are Austin Oken and Cameron Kiefer. Today's review comes from listener The Lawyer, yes, that one, over on Apple Podcasts in Canada. They write, "Fabulous podcast. I just joined the Completionist Club here. I know this would be a nightmare to organize, but a friend I got addicted to the show mentioned in passing that it would be great for enthusiasts in a specific area, for him, modern industrial machinery, to be able to filter the episodes on your website by category so they could at least somewhat tailor to their niche interests and then binge on all those episodes. From myself, all I have to say is that I've learned a lot and expanded my knowledge significantly thanks to the show, which has also sent me down numerous rabbit holes which, for better or worse, have ended up swallowing entire afternoons. Keep up the great work." Well, thanks, Lawyer. I do not disagree with your idea for grouping episodes together by topic, but that's one of those things that I'll do someday when I can find the help. It's always hard to get around to stuff like that when you have a new show to put out every single day. Remember, if you leave a review or send me a boostagram, you too can have it right on the show.